have known that was Queen Harriet herself. I should have known.
Speaking with the bountiful creative Harriett Braxton Washington, mother, agent, and founder of Elan Model Management. Harriet has over 30 years of experience modeling and coaching, where she's managed red carpet shows for designers all over. Harriet recently hosted the street show for the Juneteenth celebration at the House of Africa in Charlotte, North Carolina on June 19th, 2021.
It was roughly, I had less than 30 days. I already had an idea. Like, I've done shows before, and I was trying to do a fashion show actually for another Juneteenth event, but they never responded back to me. And then when they did respond back to me, they were like, we want to know your whole entire vision. We want to know everything of what you're going to do.
Your creative direction.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't feel comfortable with that, because I can give you all my vision, tell you all that, and you can still deny me, but then turn around and do something.
Use your ideas.
Right. So I was just like, didn't feel too comfortable with that. So then one day I just was like, you know what? Let me go up to House of Africa and let me talk to Pat. And when I went up there, he wasn't there, but one of my friends that I won't call her a friend, I'll just say a colleague. One of my colleagues worked there, and I didn't even know. So when she walked in, she was like, "Oh my God, Harriet!" I was like, "Are you serious? You work up here?" She was like, "Yeah, girl." I'm like, "Well, I want to do a fashion show." She was like, "Well, this other lady said she wanted to do the fashion show." Point number one. Another lady said that she wanted to do a fashion show, and she'd been coming up here every day or every week, buying stuff and little stuff like that. This last month, she hasn't been here. I was like, thank you, Lord.
Right.
Thanks.
Right.
I said, well, I want to do one. And so she was like, I don't know. The other girl, Dominique, she was just like, I don't know. He said that he ain't doing it. He ain't doing no fashion show this year. And I was like, well, and so Bonita was like, no, I'll ask him. Yeah, so I was like, she was like, no, I'll ask, I'll put a good word in for you. I said, okay, cool. So he called me the next day. So he was like, well, let's meet up the following, that Monday. I told him that I wanted to do his recording. I mean, his fashion show. And he was like, okay. He just kind of was sitting there. He said, well, put a proposal together. And I said, okay, no problem. So I went home, put the proposal together, already knowing what I wanted to do. I already had the idea that I wanted to have dancers, because he kept on telling me he wanted a grand. And I was like, okay, you want a grand, but what does that grand look like? So for me,
How does it translate?
So for me, immediately I saw dancers. African dancers, kind of starting the show and still being involved in the show, to kind of give it that dual effect.
Right.
Of, oh wow, they're doing this, but then look at that, type of deal. So I already had that in mind, and so he said okay, and from there I was just like, okay, I already know you already have a lot on your plate, because we're literally at the tail end before Juneteenth starts. I said, so I'm not here to, be in your way. I said, there are probably going to be questions that I'm going to, need answered. But other than that, I got everything. When it comes down to models, when it comes down to the concept, when it comes to, all I need is your yes. And knowing that we're going to, do your clothes. So he said yes. And that happened within less than 30 days that he said yes. But there was someone else. I was told there was someone else who was supposed to do it, but they didn't. They stopped showing up. So I just took on the opportunity. I just took it. So and
how many models did you use?
I got it right here. So initially it started out to be with 24 models. I ended up with That day I ended up with, I think, 18.
Which was good.
Because several dropped out. One guy, he messed himself up the night before going out to a club, messed himself up. Another young lady, she got called into work. Her friend, I guess, decided that she wasn't going to show up since she didn't show up. Another young lady, she came to the fitting, she didn't show up. So just, just those different things. And one girl, she did come. She said she was going to her car, never came back. Another guy, he came and was getting ready to put his clothes in his car. Car was towed. Yeah. So all of those different things. Yet I just remain focused. Yeah, I remain focused. I was like, okay, I can't let that derail me in what needs to happen. I got to focus on those that are here right now, and how are we going to make sure this works right, so that my main concern was making sure that the the street wasn't just empty, maybe one side, because I did notice in one of the videos that one side was kind of empty a little bit, but I was trying to make sure that I avoided that. That's why I wanted as many models that I could. The models that are a part of Elan, it was 5 of them, and then the rest were people that I just solicited and did a model call. Some people were referred to me, which was good. And then there was a gentleman, Shedrick, who walked with me with the dreads. I met him the day before. I met him the day before in the shop, and I was like, "Ooh, I need you."
Right, a king.
A king. I need you. And he was like, "Okay." He was like, he looked at it. He looked at his wife, and I was like, "Please." And it was so crazy because her name is the name of my sister who passed away. I remember I was telling today's her birthday. In fact, she would have been 56. So I just started crying because I was like, "You're my sister showing up for me." And but he said yes. So we had people that were referred. We had our own models, and then people who I just met off the cuff. A couple of the lady models, they were volunteering for Juneteenth. And they were like, "What do you need us to do? How can we help you? We'll model."
Right.
So
More than happy.
come on, I got something for you.
Right, which explains, because one of the models said they serve dignitaries, so she was a volunteer.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
So, how long did you practice for the show?
That day.
Oh wow, that must have been a long day.
No. So the model call was at 2:00. And by the time everybody got there, probably was about 3:30 maybe when we finally came out of the shop, because some of the models still had to get fitted for Khadim's clothes. But we went outside, and I told him, I was like, "Listen, I don't care that people are walking through these streets right now.
Walking down the street today, right now.
Right now, out here, walk around them if you have to." And I was like, "I need to see how it's going to look for me, how it's looking, what the call off is going to be, how many, what is my call off for you coming out, and then you coming out, and then you coming out, and I need to see how it's going to look going all the way around, and see how it."
You're Beyonce. Let me see how this thing looks.
Yeah, let me see how it looks. And so at first they were just kind of like, "Oh, taking their time." And so when they all came back, I said, "Hey, listen," I was like, "For me, this is game time. It's game time for me. So we're in business mode." I said, "Now I love to laugh, play, have fun." I said, "But now it's game time." I said, I'm in my whole business mode." So I was like, "So if I seem a little rough, please understand I still love you."
Right.
But this is right now. We need to get this done.
Right.
I was like, "We need to get this done and do it right now." So when I tell you move around and walk around these people, walk around them so I can know where I need to have you guys stop, do your turns or do your movements. You know, I said, we got to get that done. So it was that day.
Okay. Because you really didn't know who was going to be there until that day anyway.
Well,
You
I
knew your
did.
five was going to be there for sure.
No. I knew those who had committed. But the day of, the night before, it kind of happened like at 2 o'clock in the morning when I started getting the phone calls and, you know, so by the time everybody got there, that's when I knew exactly who I had to work with.
Right.
Yeah.
You did good though for it to be a short model like practice time.
Yeah, they had it was that day, like literally an hour or so before.
You did have some pros. You can tell they were pros by the way that they walked. So which ones were your works? The pros.
Well, I think they're all pros. They all, everybody that participated, even the ones that, that I did for the model call, had some type of model experience. So, in my eyes, they're all pros. But however, the ones who are my models, that was Devarius Christian, the really tall guy. Yasha Wynn. We had Zoe Snipes.
One of them you posted a picture of her, right?
Jessica Glass. Brianna Walpole. And Troy Williams. But now Zoe Snipes' mother, Nasha Snipes. I mean, everybody had some type of model experience. So, but those were the ones who are contracted with me, and we are getting ready to contract some other ones that participate in the show. They showed interest in wanting to be a part of Elan. So we're getting ready.
You did what you needed to do.
Yeah.
Even under those circumstances, like, and I'm a firm believer in whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen.
Right.
The good of it and the bad of it.
Yeah.
So now you get the good of it.
Yeah.
You know, where you put your name out there and people want to sign contracts with you, which is major.
Yeah.
So the dancers. Tell me how you came up with that vision.
God has a funny way of dealing with me, and I watched him do the same thing with my mother. So it's kind of hard to describe how, because I just saw it. I just saw it. I saw and I heard. I saw and I heard how it was going to look. And I knew I needed some dancers. So I called my daughter's former teacher from school. She's from Nigeria, and she does African dancing. And so I called her and I said, hey, I'm getting ready to do the Juneteenth, and I would love a dance team to dance while the models are walking. And she was like, well, I don't have an exact dance team, but I know someone who would do a perfect job with that. Now, understand that I was supposed to have someone reading poetry as well about Juneteenth and the freedom. I wanted them to do a poem that would encapsulate the celebration and why we are doing what we're doing for Juneteenth. But the poetess couldn't make it. So, and then Miss Elsie, please don't. I mess her last name up every time. Her name is Elsie Mufakwa.
Okay. Spell it, please.
Huh?
Spell it, please.
Let me get it up. Let me get it. Because I mess it up every time. And I'm like,
Elsie Mufakwa.
Mafuka Works. That's what it is. It's Elsie Mafuka. So that's Elsie Mafuka, and her company is Mafuka Works Dance Company. So it's MUF as in Frank, UK as in King, A Works Dance Company.
Okay. So, pull it up if I have to attach the website.
Oh, please.
Because I always find your website.
Yes. So she referred me to her, and she called me, and I talked to her and I told her what my vision was, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, She was like, I want to be in part of this. Now, mind you, she already participated in Juneteenth for several years already, dancing. Her dance company. Yeah, 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 yeah. So this time around, she just incorporated herself with me, which I thought it was a blessing because she could have just been like, no. And then she couldn't get her adult dancers, so she got her kids.
Which they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and I think it worked better.
Right, it translated better.
It translated better.
Right.
Yeah.
You have many people, not adults, so people is really zeroed in on the adults because it can get kind of interesting when you have adults walking the runway and then another batch of adults dancing. So
Right.
it's a great attribute.
Right. Right. So that's how they came about.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then the guards, were you in charge of what they were to wear, or
For House of Africa, I had the models come in and do a fitting. So I just had them go in, try 2 outfits, one casual, one more formal, until the new clothes came in, because I knew that he was going to have Khadim's clothes coming. We just didn't know when.
right.
So I had them choose a casual wear and then a formal wear. Well, most of the clothes that they were picking out, or that I was going towards, was all of his linen and his jackets and his tops. And then we were just like, okay, we'll incorporate your jeans, for men and women. We'll incorporate your jeans, or you'll wear shorts, or you'll have a skirt on with that, so that people can see that African wear doesn't always have to be coming to America garb.
Right.
Because that's what people interpret.
Right.
When they think African clothing, they're thinking, oh, I gotta have this big headpiece, and I have to have all these clothes and a whole bunch of material. And with House of Africa, I wanted to show the diversity of what you can wear, and it be African inspired, and you don't have to feel like you're sticking out somewhere, but rather, yeah, it's cute. Like, with the linen, it had mud cloth details on it, so that was really cool that I was able to do that. And then with Khadim, because of the limited the language barrier, I just would bring the models in and say, Khadim, 2, just like that, Khadim, 2, and he knew. And then I noticed that he had casual wear and then the beautiful garments for evening. So I made sure that everybody had one casual and one evening. Not everybody did evening wear for him, because it was kind of like at the last minute. Some of them was able to do two pieces, others only did one. So yeah, because some of the things that they were, it was just like, no, that's not gonna work.
Right.
I don't care how much we try, it's not working.
It has to fit your body type.
Yeah,
To make it a statement.
right. And then for me, it had to tell a story.
Right.
Even like with the linen and the jackets and the tops from House of Africa, I needed it, and it started telling a story to me, especially when after everybody had gotten fitted and everything, and I was able to go back in, look at the models, because I had taken pictures of them or what they were wearing, taking pictures, looking at what they have on, and then when I got there, I was like, oh, most of this is linen. Okay, cool. Oh, the jackets and the tops and stuff. Cool. Okay, it's creating its own story already.
Right.
And so that was fun. But with Khadim, he pretty much just could eye a person, eye the model, and say they wear that.
Right.
They can put that on.
Right. Because he's a designer.
And then for those who just volunteered that day of, they just ended up wearing some of the items that he had already pre-selected for other models that didn't show up.
Okay, well, and it still worked out.
Right,
so God still turned it all around for your good.
I'm telling you, and understand, I know it was so funny because at one point I was just, looking at the lineup and looking at my garment rack and having the paper on the wall I'm having to do the lineup because I want to make sure that those who have two outfits are not, like I'm not putting them right back to back. Like I have to make sure that I have enough models in between them to get back in there, change, and come back out. So while I was doing that, I was just singing, "It's gonna work, it's 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 gonna work." Yeah. So I was just like, but that's what drives me. Like I don't care how hectic it can get or how challenging it could be. It's like a crossword puzzle for me. Like you're looking for the right answer to fill in those squares. You know what I'm saying? It could be one particular uh, uh, name or sentence, or it could be one thing, but it could be something else. So that's what I like, that challenge.
Do you thrive better in organized chaos?
In this field of work, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I like
Because that's where
order.
your creativity gets geared up.
Yeah. So it always starts with an idea. And then the idea then becomes the draft. Then from the draft, it's like, okay, putting the pieces in.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's what makes me excited.
Right.
I mean, like even talking about it makes me excited. Like I'm like, yep, I love it. I love it because it's like seeing it in my head and then seeing it come to fruition. It just, I don't know, it just does something to me.
It's your work. This is what you do.
Yeah.
So how do you stay on top of the models so they don't lose or gain weight before the show? But you had so many garbs, it really didn't matter this time.
This time, I do have a model who, we're going through a weight challenge right now. A couple of them actually. And one of the things that I love about myself of being a mother agent is the fact that they know that they can talk to me in confidence. I'm not one to put you on blast. We do have a group messenger, and we use the group texting, but that's not where if I need to address something when it comes down to like to weight or your hair or your skin or whatever it could be. I always kind of pull them to the side or call them, send them a text message and say, "Hey, call me, let's talk," and so it's so funny because my one model, she was like, "Mama Bear," because that's what they call me, Mama Bear, Mama Bear. I have to tell you something. I said, "What is it?" She was like, "My other agent just dropped me," and I said, "Well," I said, "It's okay." I said, "Because God's just making room for you." And she was like, "No, I think when they asked me to update my stuff and I told them how much I'm weighing now and I sent them the pictures, I said, but it's okay." I said, "It's okay. It happens." I said, but that's what we're talking about too."
Right.
I said, "Because I noticed it myself." And I said, "So what are we doing?"
Right.
And she was like, "I know, Mama Bear. I know. I need to. I'm about to start working." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Because we're about to get busy."
Right.
I said, "In order for me to, make sure that, you are marketable the way we need you to be marketable, how you are, we got to get back there." She was like, "Yes, ma'am." And then I have another model who was dealing with the same thing. And I mean, with this pandemic, we all have gained weight and just all kind of stuff. So she was just, she got really transparent with me. And I just let them know, "Hey, I understand. You know what you need to do, and let's make it happen."
Right.
And then I try to, as much as possible, I'm trying to lead by example. Doesn't always go so well, but
It's so well. You just ate a kitty plate.
a kitty plate. But those are things that I think about. So when it comes down to those things, yeah, we have those private conversations.
Well, with the models.
Absolutely.
When you walk for the designer, how were the measurements taken into consideration? Like he knew, like
He knew. He can just look at someone. And one of the things that that Pap had told me, the owner of House of Africa, he was like, "We don't use patterns. We just cut. We just take the material, we cut."
So everything was made in house.
His Khadim's designs. So the other designs that we had from House of Africa, those were, like, I guess, he has a manufacturer or a wholesale company or whatever he uses. But Khadim,
He the man.
he is.
What are some of the difficulties you overcame to put on it with the show? Aside from
some of the difficulties. Well, models dropping out last minute, or accidents happened, or they just don't show up. The outside event, it's very different. So dealing with people who don't want to listen, and they understand that our runway is the actual street.
right.
So we got through that. And we got through the other, small isms that were, kind of just thrown in there. We just had to remain focused. We just remain focused on the goal of making sure that when the models put these clothes on, that people will want to shop and want to buy, because that's the whole goal.
Right.
The whole goal. Right. And I tell my models all the time, it really isn't about you. At the end of the day, it really isn't about you. Yes, you have a pretty face. Yes, you have a body. Yes, you may be slender and you can walk a gown like nobody's business. I said, but at the end of the day, it's really not about you. It's about that designer and his clothes being sold. I said, so whether they put a potato sack on you, you better rock that potato sack to where they're like, what sizes do they come in?
Right.
And so, yeah, that's we dealt with it like that. And then for me, for the outside event, and for what it was for, I just wanted them to have fun.
Right.
For Juneteenth. Yeah. I wanted them to have fun, and and we got through it. We got through it all. Man.
So is this your first street show?
No.
Okay, how many have you done?
Now, if I have to think back in all my many years of doing this was probably my fourth one. Yeah, because in Seattle I did a couple of them.
Okay.
Like I think I did. What's it called? How when people just pop up and they'll just start singing out of nowhere.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what that is, but like pop-up shop type deal.
Yeah. So I did that a couple of times in Seattle back in the late 80s, early 90s. I was actually doing a photo shoot, but the photo shoot ended up turning out to be a fashion show. And we were downtown Seattle. Killing it. And we just a crowd just started coming around us. And we just did a show.
Okay. So that was like a pop-up.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the actual name of it, what they call it. How they would be in the malls, and everybody's in there and people don't know that somebody's going to start singing.
Right.
And then everybody joins in.
Like a mystery.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it was in Seattle. But yeah, this is my fourth. This is my biggest one, though.
Right. Okay.
This is my biggest, and I think probably the most challenging one. Yeah, it was good though. I mean, through all the challenges, I still think that we did an excellent job.
Oh yeah, I mean,
If I did not have the situation with my kids, were like that was devastating news because I was feeling rocked by that disbelief. So just like, okay, I gotta get over here to the family. But had I been able to be there and really kind of taking it in, that would have been different. So, but you did a phenomenal show. Were you nervous to walk the runway because you ripped it? You did phenomenal when you walked the runway.
So no, um, because one of the things that I tell my models all the time is that you have to find your alter ego. You know, Beyonce always says it. She says, "I'm not Beyonce on the stage. I'm Sasha.
Right.
Sasha Fierce.
Right.
So I'm not Harriet on the runway. I don't even know her. I don't even know her name right now. I don't even know her name. It's just she.
Right. She's good, just like her. She's good.
She gets out there.
She rocked that runway.
Yeah, and so it's my moment.
When you saw it on video, how did that make you feel?
Oh, I loved it. I was laughing at myself because I had purpose behind it. So it was funny to me because for me, I saw my mother. I saw my mother just raise up in me.
Right.
And I just cracked up at myself. I was like, girl, you were really making a statement, weren't you? And I was just laughing at myself because, yeah, it was, you know, I told them, you know, we did a circle before and we pray. You know, they all know that I love Jesus. They know that he's my number one. They know that, you know, without him, there would not be Elan Model Management. So we definitely got in a circle because it was just like, okay, I gotta bring this in, and I gotta make sure our energy is right, and I gotta make sure that we're all on one accord. So putting them in the circle, and we're connecting together, we're linking up.
Right.
One of the things that I told them, I said, listen, I'm an octopus. Elan Model Management is an octopus right now, and all of you guys are my legs.
Right.
I said, and I need all y'all legs to work.
Right.
Work.
Simultaneously.
We got to work. And so, you know, I just gave it all to God, and I just said, you know, listen, my name is on the line. Not only is my name, but the company's name is on the line. I said, because this is our big debut. I said, to be honest with you, this is our big debut for people to know that we even exist.
Right.
Not just so much as, you know, people know that I exist because I'm sharing it or people know who I am and what I'm doing, but this is for the unknowns. I didn't even know there was a model agency that was called Elan that was out here, started by a Black woman.
Right.
So, yeah.
They know now.
They know now.
Was the celebration everything you thought it would be once you added your finishing touches to it?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Awesome.
I look at the pictures and I'm just like, wow. Because, for instance, Devarius Christian, he decided that he wanted to be a part of Elan Model Management because I recruited his girlfriend, Brianna. And when I was having the full model call, he wanted to be a part of Elan because I have a young lady, Jasmine Vanderpool, who has alopecia, and he has alopecia.
Right.
And so he said for him, he identified with someone who was a part of the team, who was like him. And he was just like, hey, you know, okay, I guess, you know.
He's a real tall guy.
Yeah, shy. When I tell you, when we first met, he was like super duper shy, not really saying nothing at all. You know, his photos were just kind of like blah, you know. And since then, you know, and again, at Elan, I'm like, we're family.
Right.
This is your brother, and these are your sisters,
Right.
besides your girlfriend. But we're brothers and sisters, and I'm Mama Bear.
Right.
And so when we did our very first photo shoot, you know, he kind of felt awkward. He didn't know how to feel. Well, his sisters was pulling up pictures on Google, Pinterest, and they were like, okay, this is what you should do. This is how you should look. This is how you, okay, let's put this right here. And and they were helping him. So it really broke his mold to feel okay with who he is and how to look.
Right.
And then I helped them. I've done model coaching for them, and make sure that he attends.
Right.
And then I just been putting him in fashion shows.
Which is awesome.
So now he's gaining experience, and
Right.
he's feeling the difference of, oh dang, okay, they kind of like me out here.
Right.
Okay, let me put my hands together and do something.
Was he
And
part of CHINÓ ARTÉ's fashion show?
no, that was my son. That was my biological son.
Okay, he did
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, that was my biological
And
son.
he's the one that you post the picture on your page?
Yes,
Okay.
that's my biological son. He was supposed to do Sunday, but we canceled Sunday. Yeah, yeah. But the various, he is totally opening up. I mean, like, and that's another thing that I love about what I do, because it's like seeing a little bud, a flower bud, and you see the little flower bud and it's all closed up, and then you start watering it and nurturing it.
Blossom.
It just starts. And that's what I love to see, just seeing them open up, and seeing them open up in many different ways, and seeing that it is possible. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can model. Oh, okay, I do look good in these photos. So that's what I love to see. Yeah, teaching moments.
So will you host the modeling portion of Juneteenth next year?
We will all see. To be continued.
To be continued.
To be continued. It is my hope that we will be able to, lock that in for, for however long, and make it bigger and better.
Right.
And even maybe make it on that Friday where it's a whole separate show, but it's for Juneteenth.
And that would be good if you could do that, and really kind of, that way you could do more in those 2 days and not put it all in.
Yeah, make it a ticketed event where people can dress up in their African wear. You know what I'm saying? Come to a show.
And it would be a total jump off.
Right. Yeah.
Look at the visionary.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It'll just come. Yeah.
So do you have any upcoming events?
Well, we're trying to. We're not trying. We are applying to be a part of the Welcome Back festival that's going to be here in Charlotte, July 24th, I think it is.
What is that for? I see it.
So I don't know. I guess they're just doing something, anything. Welcome back, I guess, to the outside. Huh?
From the pandemic.
Yeah, I think so. And they're gonna have Anthony Hamilton. And then they're going to do it in 2 more areas of North Carolina, Wilmington, and I think Columbia.
Which one are y'all doing?
Well, I'm pushing for all 3.
Okay.
I'm pushing for all 3, and because it's a festival, it's a 1-day festival. So what I want to do is I want to, I have an idea of what I want to do, because I can see that being a stage show. So with it being a stage show, I kind of want to make it more interactive with the host, or who's going to be talking about the clothes, and it's just kind of making a Tyler Perry moment, kind of sort of like that. And then we have a couple of models that's going to be a part of the Carolina Hair and Fashion Show. That's going to be in September in Columbia, South Carolina. And then me personally, our Elan Model Management, we have something up our sleeve for next year, February.
So keep me posted with that.
Oh, absolutely. I want you to be a part of it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
My question with Elan Model Management, what all does that entail for the models or people that sign on with your company?
That entails coaching, branding, um, opportunities to be in fashion shows, to book for print work, for commercials, for magazines, for acting extras. Um, and then being that we're a non-exclusive agency, meaning that they can have other agents. Um, we are pushing to brand them so that we can send them out for other agencies, larger agencies to
Like Wilhelmina.
yeah, and to pick them up.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, yeah.
So, words of wisdom for listeners and whoever will be reading the article.
Words of wisdom. Never give up on your dreams. No matter how hard it seems, if you don't have any money, if God has given it to you, He will provide the provision for it. And if you believe and you trust and you have the faith that it will come to pass, it will. And to never despise small beginnings.
That's right.
Never despise the small
Because you can be in
beginnings.
that small beginning for a long time.
For a long time. And you have to just keep trudging along. If you believe in yourself and you believe in what God has given you to do, don't give up.
That's right.
Don't give up on your dreams.
Your website information.
www.mmodels.com. That's EMMMODELS.com.
So, Mark, you think you covered everything that you wanted to get out?
Final remarks. Elan Model Management will be a global company.
That's right.
And I put it out in the atmosphere everywhere I go. So wherever I go, I let it be known in the atmosphere and for everyone to know that we are not just a local agency. We're based in Charlotte because we will be a global agency.
Coming soon.
Boom.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.